What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Craving Wild podcast episode. This week we have episode 31 with Ryan Glitsky. Some of you guys might know him as Moose. Ryan is well known for his ability to kill mature bucks over scrapes, and he's been doing it for a good amount of time consistently in Pennsylvania, in the big woods of anything in PA. So that's something to be said in itself. Ryan is just a wealth of knowledge, and he's got a ton of content, a ton of podcasts, videos, all sorts of stuff that he does, and he puts out the information and all that. So we do cover that a little bit in this episode, but we talk a little bit more about like building a solid foundation in hunting. We talk about all-day sits and kind of what it takes to keep you in the stand for that, those 13, 14-hour sits. We also talk a little bit about training and training that's more specific toward, geared towards hunting. We also obviously talk about food in itself. We're all over the place. We talk about his Maryland hunt this year, early season, and how he's going to attack that. So it's pretty cool here. And, a guy who's so geared and so well known for hunting scrapes talk about early season. And I will let you guys listen to, hear what he has to say about that. But this was another enjoyable podcast to record. Thanks again, Moose, for coming on. We appreciate, you being able to come on. We appreciate everybody who's able to come on these episodes. It really means a lot to us. As far as the Craving Wild squad, not a lot new is going on, really. We're just getting in the final touches, making sure our bows are all tuned up. Everything's good. Testing broadheads, testing flights. Primarily broadhead tuning the bows, making sure that stuff's all good. We're starting to really get more photos. We had a cooler spell here, and I'm getting more photos. I know a couple of guys on the team are getting more photos. So it's we're getting antsy, we're getting itchy. We're 30 days. When this releases, I believe it'll be 29 days, or actually it might be 28 days before we're going to be in Delaware. So time is a ticking. For the guys who are hunting PA, you still got 2 months, but don't wait till the last second. Get out there now, shoot your bow, scout, do what you got to do, get your cameras out, get your clothes, do whatever your process is to get hunting. Start it a little earlier this year. That way you're not just running around like at the end of the year, just kind of trying to figure stuff out at the last second, which I know we're all guilty of, and I'm guilty of it every year in some way, shape, or form. But hopefully this year we can get, to hunting season, and it's not just that mad rush to get stuff done, and ease into it a little bit more relaxed. But I'm not going to talk your guys' ear off anymore. We're going to get right into this week's episode. I think everybody knows you by Moose.
Yeah, maybe that's what helped with the popularity, I guess, to get on these damn podcasts. It was easy to remember, I guess.
Or you shoot giant bucks over scrapes in Pennsylvania. I mean, that's a good way to get on podcasts.
I guess killing a few deer helps too,
Yeah, you get it done. Your wall back there looks amazing. Are those all PA deer?
No, I've got a few down on the floor because actually one of the bathrooms down here remodeling, so I got a few sitting around here, but I think I have 16 on the wall down here. I think 10 of them, around 9 or 10 are from PA.
Awesome.
I think I got 3 from Iowa, 1 from Wisconsin, 1 from Illinois, 1 from Ohio. So yeah, I think 10 from PA on the wall. Then I got probably 4 or 5 decent European mounts I decided not to mount hanging around here. Then out in the sheds, the 55-gallon guards, can full of the little guys.
Right. Those are the good tasting ones, they say.
Yeah. Nothing wrong killing them.
No, not at all. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? You get this reputation of chasing after mature bucks, but I kind of miss the old days sometimes. And this year I'm going down Maryland in September, and I'm doing a wilderness backpack hunt. And I'm telling you, first 4Q 6-point comes by, he's done.
You're waxing.
I'm not trophy hunting. You know what I mean? I think it'd be, you kind of get, on these podcasts and stuff, and sometimes we get a little too tied up with rack size.
Absolutely.
I think it'd be good for people to step back a little bit, and it's the hunt itself what's important.
Yeah, you're 100% correct. It's funny you say that because we were literally I was texting with do you know Jeremy Beck?
Yep, I know Jeremy.
And I was like, first come, first serve. First one that comes out, I'm serving in an arrow. Right, literally 6 hours later, I got a 12-pointer on my camera on a piece of private, and I'm like, oof, I got to reevaluate my situation here.
Yeah, change the plans. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to be fairly picky in PA. You know, I drew my Iowa tag this year, so of course I'm going to be holding out there.
Oh, nice.
Ohio, places like I'm going to hold out for something decent. You know what I mean? But not saying there's not big bucks in Maryland and New York and some of these other states, but sometimes I like just to do that wilderness backpack and throw the pack on, put the tent up somewhere, primitive camping, and just hunt all day and go from there. Kill what comes by.
Right. Absolutely, man. There he is.
Kevin, what's going on,
fellas and lady? How we doing?
What's up? Good.
What's going on, Ryan?
Updating.
We're doing good. We're doing good. I can't hear myself now.
No?
No.
You should be able to.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I hear you.
That's all that matters then.
Okay. Kevin, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Ryan, can you hear us?
This looks
Yep, I can hear you guys.
This looks like one of those
All right,
90s commercials. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Well, that's what I work for. Kevin can hear Ryan. Ryan can hear Kevin.
Yeah, I can hear him.
Yep.
Cool. Beautiful. All right. We were just kind of bullshitting, waiting for you to come on. We're already recording, so we're just going to jump right into it. He was just talking about
Going to Maryland.
Yeah, basically going to Maryland, and he drew Iowa, which is, I'm sure a lot of guys are jealous because everything I heard on Instagram was, I didn't draw an Iowa tag. I didn't draw an Iowa tag.
Yeah. It's getting tough. I mean, to be honest with you, I ended up I was down zone 6. I killed 3 pretty good bucks down, Van Buren County, and, I'm getting old. I'm 46. It's taken 5-6 years to draw a tag now. So, an opportunity to come up to go to another zone that's less popular, and I jumped on it. I only had 2 points, but I ended up drawing a tag. So I'm hoping this area I'm kind of keeping it under wraps. Hopefully it stays like that, and I can get out there quite a few times before I hang it up.
Absolutely. Yeah, like you said, man, you only get so many 5 years, right? You only got so many 5 years left to get out there and get after it.
Yeah, it's getting tough now. I mean, guys, 5-6 years, it's starting to creep up even more now. It's going to get pretty tough. I think maybe eventually I might die off a little bit. Guys will get frustrated with that, down the road here. But right now, it's a tough tag to draw. I mean, it's worth it. I tell guys, if you've never been there, I would definitely go down zone 5 or zone 6, once or twice, because especially if you come from the east, man, it is a paradise out there. It is a completely what you see on TV. Doesn't work anywhere but there. That's kind of how it is.
Right.
That's awesome.
I couldn't imagine like actually rattling and deer coming running in. Like that just doesn't happen for me out here.
Same here. I've done it a few times in PA, not really much success, but out there, I mean, it's almost every damn time you hit the horns, something's coming in. It might be just a little 1.5 years, or it might be a big, 6.5-year-old. You just don't know.
Oh, man, I don't know that my heart can handle that.
That's funny. Shit.
We'll have to try. I think I have 6 points. I was actually going to draw this year, but we had too much shit going on. So I was like, you know what? I'll just buy a point, and then next year I should be pretty much guaranteed wherever I want.
Yeah, you'll be guaranteed next year to go where you want. Yep, go anywhere you want.
Absolutely. And I'll put my plan is to put 2 weeks aside, go out there. I'm probably going to hunt with the WCB boys out there. And, if I kill something, just work my way east. Hit all the states east.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, definitely.
What made you choose Maryland this year for early season?
It's close to home. Where I live in PA, it's only 1.5, 2 hours to a lot of areas, big chunks of public land. It's a lot of big woods, mountain stuff, which I'm used to hunting. So kind of my cup of tea there. Like I said, it's close to home. Their season comes in, I think, September 9th or something like that. Mm-hmm. Our season here in PA, of course, doesn't come into the last Saturday in September this year. Mm-hmm. So I got, a couple weekends there. You can hunt Sundays there. So Saturday, Sundays, I figure I'll leave here Friday evening and hunt all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and come back home.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Are you planning on doing that a couple of times throughout September?
Yeah, I'm going to try every weekend in September leading up to PA. That's going to be my goal. Get down there, and you can kill 2 bucks down there. I think one with a bow, then one has to be another weapon, I believe. But if I can get at least 1 buck down, like I said, I'm not going to be picky. It's going to be about the adventure down there. Get down, and if I kill a buck in September, that'll be great. And then head into PA then.
Hell yeah! And you said, are
nice
you like
kickstart
camping?
to the season? Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
What's your like sleep style? Are you going to be camping, truck camping?
I have a little Tacoma, so the truck camping is a little rough, but I think I'm just going to I have a little one-man QU tent. September's not super cold yet, you know what I mean? So I'm just going to tent.
Yeah.
Just a primitive campfire. I'll take jet boil down or stuff like that, freeze dried meals for a couple nights. Nothing crazy. Just keep it simple. Like I said, as long as the weather's not pouring rain or something, shouldn't be an issue doing that.
How do you like that KUIU tent?
You know what? I've only popped it out a few times. I haven't actually spent a night in it yet. I messed around with it. I like it. It's a little different. I think there's other tents out there. You kind of just stick it up and has the floor and everything in it. This, it's kind of piece by piece. It can take a little bit more to put up at times. I mean, it's not horrible. You can have about 15, 20 minutes. For a single person hunting like that time of year, it works.
Right. Yeah, because that's more like a modular system where you can run it floorless. There's a whole bunch of different shit you can do.
Yeah. And then when you put the floor in, it still has, it still has a gap around the bottom. Then you put your mesh kit in, and that's where you get the bugs and stuff like that keep off you. But like I said, it's okay for, I think, certain times of year, but I think I'd rather upgrade to something a little better, especially if the weather would break out.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Those lightweight tents I'm very iffy about it for big people like us. I'll open a hole in that tent in no time.
Yeah.
Especially here in PA, that's rocky as hell.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Hey, Moose, before we get any further into it, why don't you just kind of let the people know who you are, where you're from, how you got into hunting, like the whole background story.
Ryan Glitsky. My nickname's Moose. I started hunting, I think, when I was 14 years old. So I've been doing this. Will be my 32nd year. I primarily hunt public land in Pennsylvania here. I've hunted a little bit of private. When I was probably my late 20s, I went to a couple outfitters. I was pretty good at killing deer. But being before like kind of antler restrictions here in PA and stuff, it was really tough to kill a 90-inch deer, 80, 90-inch deer. The first little buck come out, that's what you killed. And, you killed so many of those, and I started getting a little itch for something bigger. Started killing a couple bigger, but then I kind of head to Midwest, went to a couple outfitters, and that's when the bug really bit me. I killed a couple 140s, one in Wisconsin, one in Illinois, and man, I got hooked. Kind of the ant restrictions started kicking in here a little heavier, so I started holding out here a little more, and it just has gradually grown, the passion for chasing mature bucks now over the years.
Absolutely. So I'm assuming you're kind of in favor of that antler restriction that we put in?
100%, and I personally, I wish it was 4 to side the whole way across the state. That's just me personally.
I was going to ask you that. I totally agree with you, man.
Yep.
Totally agree.
Yeah, I mean, kids shoot whatever they want. I think active service members should shoot whatever they want. Disabled, shoot whatever they want. But for the majority of us, I think it should be 4 to a side.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Totally agree. I mean, just look at the bucks they're pulling out of. Are you in a 4-point zone?
Yes and no. I travel quite a bit. To get on mature bucks in the state or something decent. I mean, it's really. I mean, be honest in PA, I tell guys, a 3.5-year-old 120 is a damn good buck in PA. It's a good buck pretty much anywhere. But I've got to put some miles in. I'm covering typically about 5-6 counties. I'm hunting or putting cameras in to kind of locate, these bucks.
Okay, so. At what point in time do you make a decision on what buck? Because you primarily chase like a specific deer, right?
I don't hunt specific deer. I don't.
Okay.
Typically, what I'm doing is I'm hunting for opportunity. How I play the game, I'm primary rut hunter. That's how people know me as a rut hunter. Mm-hmm. How I do it is I'm big on my postseason scouting. I'm big on my summertime trail cameras. And as that goes into the fall, that's kind of where your in-season scouting course plays in. But my trail cameras, I don't necessarily like hunt the camera. You know what I mean? What I'm using them cameras for is inventory purposes. When I do my postseason scouting, I'm finding areas that concentrate a lot of deer movement for the rut. So these specific areas I have these cameras in, if I have 3-4 good quality bucks I'm after, that's the area I'm focusing on. And whatever one of those bucks come by, I'm killing. I'm not picky when it comes to that. If he meets what my standards, gets me excited, I'm going to kill him.
Nice. And what is that standard?
For me in PA, a 3.5-year-old 120 and around there, that's what I'm looking for. That's my baseline. And that's going to travel with me a little bit. Now, when I get to the Midwest, I'm looking more for 4.5-year-old plus. Maybe, more like at 130 mark. When I start hitting Ohio, if I'm in Illinois, Iowa, that's a little bit different there. It's probably going to be 4.5 still, but I'm looking for something more in the 140 plus range out there.
Okay. What's your actual? You know what? Let's back to Maryland. What's your plan for Maryland?
When I go down there, it's complete opposite. Like I said, we talked a little off air there. I'm not going to be picky down there. I'm kind of getting an itch. I've done this for a long time. I enjoy chasing mature bucks. But I think sometimes we get away from the fun part of this, So down there, it's going to be a little more of the wilderness backpacking. Get in there. It's going to be basically boots on the ground, in-season scouting. I set up either in the morning, afternoon, what I want, find what I'm looking for. And to be honest with you, if it's a 4-key or 6-point comes by, I'm damn well probably going to kill it, because it's about the adventure to me that. We put a lot of stress on ourselves. We get a little frustrated sometimes chasing mature bucks, and I love it. I love walking up on a mature buck. But sometimes we lose focus while we're really doing this. We get a little too tied up with rack size. So sometimes I think it's good maybe to step back somewhere and, just go have some fun sometime. Maybe I'm shooting a doe, or maybe I'm shooting a young buck just for that experience.
I feel bad for whatever deer Maryland walks in front of you.
Have you been down there? Have you been down there doing any pre-scouting for this year? Did you go on any trips?
I'm going to plan on here. Like I said, it's fair. I'm within about an hour and a half, 2 hours of some public big chunks. My plan is to go down there probably in August on a Saturday or two. I've been looking at some maps, aerials and topos. I've seen a couple of areas that interest me. I will go down there, kind of get boots on the ground, just get a feel for the area. It's fairly similar to what I hunt around here from looking at topography. So I'll go down there, get boots on the ground for a day, get a feel, maybe take a couple cameras with me. We'll see. But just get my feet wet a little bit. Then when I go down in September, it's pretty much what I'm going to be banking on is that in-season scouting. I'll find some security cover stuff like that, get an idea where the bedding is, and kind of work off of that. And I find good sign, I'll set up and I'll try to kill something.
So nice. I'm assuming you're, by the sounds of it, you're basically gonna scout when you get there, and if you can find a bedding area that you're feeling good about, you're gonna try and cut them off going back to ag,
acorns, browse, whatever I feel, whatever I see. I'm just going to read the sign, read topography, read the diversity of the habitat, and kind of make a game plan. They could be feeding in greenbriers, they could be feeding on oaks. You just don't know. Or there's a private ag field nearby. I found clear cut. There's a lot of different options there. You just got to read it, and make an educated guess in the time.
I think a lot of people have lost that, like just woodsmanship like that, just walking in.
Yeah, 100%. And that's kind of why, why I kind of want to go down there and do it, because I want to kind of video it, of course, put it on my story, stuff like that, and show guys, these podcasts are great, YouTube's great, all that for learning, but that foundation comes from boots on the ground and becoming a good woodsman. I tell guys, you become a good woodsman, I don't care if you're in Maine, Texas, or wherever, you're going to kill whitetails once you become a good woodsman.
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head with the foundation. You can build as big as house you want, but if you don't have a foundation, it ain't gonna hold up to nothing.
Yeah, 100%, exactly.
For sure. So after Maryland, what's your plan for that early? Like, how do you hunt that early part of PA? Are you still focusing in on them scrapes, or are you gonna, focus on that ag more or less, or food source?
I'm kind of be honest with you, I get a little handcuffed in PA. Early season. I spend all my time in the Big Woods Mountains. Okay. I started to hunt in the Big Woods Mountains when I was younger, and I kind of got away from hunting a lot of like farm country, flood control areas, Corps of Engineering, killed a lot of deer. Then I started wanting to chase the bigger racks, more mature deer. And that's kind of how I eventually went to the big woods and the mountains. The problem with that, where I work and where I hunt kind of in the Big Woods Mountains, you're talking 2-hour drive. I get off 4:00. I'm just not getting anywhere where my big bucks are. So fortunately around work, there is a ton of public land, but the quality of deer isn't very good. So a lot of it, that first couple of weeks of the season, I'm kind of just enjoying the hunt. I'll kill some does. Yes, occasionally I will kill a good buck or find one to go after. But a large majority of the time, I'm just kind of getting out there to hunt, work out the bugs. And that's why I put so much emphasis on the rut itself that last week, October, because I take my vacation. I'm off for a month. And honestly, that's why I put all my eggs in one basket during the rut.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I've been watching your stuff for the last, 3 years. Your story. For anybody's listening to this, Ryan does a great job with his like just daily stories of, and you're doing it right now, right? Through scout season and everything.
Yeah. Scouting's year round for me. Postseason scouting is my favorite. That's my love. But summer, I scout in the summer too. Summer is a lot of my trail camera work, of course. Trying to see the quality of deer in certain areas, but I scout quite a bit in the summer also.
And where are you focusing those cameras on, location wise?
Primarily, it's going to be scrapes off cover or in some type of hub system, a thermal hub system. That's what I prefer. I will put them on a creek crossing or a heavy, like a real confined crossing, like a ditch crossing or a creek crossing. If the cover and diversity of habitat works up for those areas, works for that area, I'll put a camera in there. But I'd say probably 90 plus of my setups are going to be on a natural scrape or a mock scrape in around cover or hub system.
How do you determine? I get in the very beginning of your scouting process. Say you go to a new area. How do you determine how close you want to get to that bedding area scrape wise to focus on, or are you just going to pepper all the scrapes with cameras and do that historical data and then, kind of work yourself back to daylight pretty much?
Well, a lot of it starts in the postseason with that kind of scouting. When I first initially go in, I'm looking for, some type of habitat, terrain diversity. I'm looking for cover, security cover. Then I will work off of that stuff, reading the sign, scrapes, rubs, tracks, all that. I won't just randomly put them on a bunch of scrapes. I just won't do that. I run a lot of cameras, but like I said, I'm covering a large area. So when I put my camera out, to be honest with you, I want to feel pretty damn good. That's the scrape that I'm going to get a mature buck on. I run pretty high success rate to get mature bucks on scrapes the way I do it. I don't really like the shotgun pattern. That's just not me. That just personally, it uses too much of my resources up. So I try to get in an area where I feel that's the scrape or two scrapes. I'll put 2 or 3 in around a specific area at times. But those scrapes are going to be the primary community type scrapes or heavy travel corridor type mock scrape or something where I'm going to get them bucks on camera in velvet and through the fall.
So how do you determine what a good scrape is? Because, you sometimes you see so many and you're like, well, this is good. Do you look for like where there's a concentration of scrapes, or is it like the size of the scrape?
Every situation is different. But a lot of things that have in common. Good areas have one thing in common. Typically, is diversity of habitat and terrain. Sometimes you get lucky, and that all comes together. You'll have a lot of different terrain, a lot of edges. That whitetails are, of course, an edge animal. When you get a lot of that stuff coming together in a certain location, that makes a dynamite location for a setup. A lot of times you hear a lot of guys talking about these thermal hubs. A lot of those, those are awesome spots for a camera themselves. But like I said, every situation is different. This is where the experience comes into play. A lot of times I tell guys, you got to get out there and put the time in. Eventually, it just starts to click. You see that stuff, and you'll see in a postseason, you'll find a lot of rut scrapes. You'll find a scrape line. I don't necessarily always pay attention to that. It just depends on how the setup is. I'm trying to find a primary community type scrape typically because those are going to get used year round.
Interesting. And mock scrapes. When do you start doing mock scrapes? If you need to do one.
Mock scrapes. I put one out. I think it would have been about 2 weeks ago. I got in. It's still, like I said, comes back to just been doing it long enough. I got in a situation where there was kind of a thermal pool, a thermal hub in the bottom of this ridge system. There was a lot of drainages. A lot of things were coming together in this location. I found a lot of historical big rubs. You can see over multiple years of usage in there in this one location. There was a lot of stuff coming together. There was no scrapes there. Now there were some scrapes, let's say, 50, 75, give or take yards off of that spot. But where I wanted to put the camera, there was nothing. So I put a mock scrape in. It just basically, that spot gave me the best of all the worlds, I guess you could say, in that one specific location to put a mock scrape. Where there was a lot of things, ditch crossing, a lot of things were coming together with that one central location there to put one.
And do you do anything specific when you do a mock spray, or not really? You just because I know some people like I've read some people are like, oh, I pee on it too, you know, and like some random stuff.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
don't piston under my scrapes. I mean, some guys do. I mean, not saying it don't work. Of course, I know guys kill some giants, and that's what they do.
Yeah.
I use Buck Fever. I've used some other products. I prefer Buck Fever. Just works really good for me. I've had fantastic success with it. You know, what I do is if there's a tree there, I can use a licking branch off it. I like drawing a blank here, excuse me, but like oaks and stuff like that. Beech, of course, is notorious. They love to scrape under. If I can find something they prefer right there, I will doctor it up. If not, you know, to be honest, I'll trim a limb off one and I'll bring it down and I'll make my own, hanging off another tree.
All right.
Hell
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I've noticed on a piece of private that I hunt, they love evergreens like hemlocks, cedars, shit like that, making those scrapes that are year after year. But what I know, like white pines, I've never seen a scrape under a white pine.
Yeah, what's weird is that you go up north in some areas, and then underneath all those pines, conifers, wherever the hell they are, man, there's scrapes all over the place. Man, I'll find one in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, man, there is going to be a bed. There's going to be a scrape underneath there.
Right.
There ain't a damn thing under some bitch. I bet I'll pass 10 of them up. Nothing. Occasionally I do, but for whatever reason, for me, it's more the beach. That's typically where I find majority of mine, under the beech trees. And young oaks, overhang limbs, I find quite a bit underneath them also.
That's awesome. That's a good tip. I'm gonna try to do some mock scrape this year in a couple places but I'm like, you know, you do so much research and you have all this information at once, it can get so overwhelming that you don't know which one to pick, you don't know where to go.
Yeah. Location is the key part. I think sometimes, and big thing is you don't want to leave a lot of human scent. That's key there.
Okay.
But the big thing guys make a mistake is just throw a scrape up. Yeah, deer are going to hit it, you know, out of curiosity. But if you want consistency over years, mature bucks hitting it, you know, it's about location. There's got to be either some time of thermal pull, something with thermals or wind advantage. Security cover is really, really key. Bedding, you know, that all plays into a really great setup for a mock scrape.
How far from like a bedding area will you put a mock scrape on?
It just depends on the situation.
Yeah, right.
You know, I mean, some might be 40 yards off the edge, and another, you know, might be 150. It just depends how the terrain and habitat lays.
Interesting.
It sounds like it's like everything pretty much is just so. Because I was going to ask you, like mountain wise, how are you focusing on the top third, middle, bottom, or is it situational once again?
That's with like guys ask me, do you hunt a lot of hubs in the bottom? I said, yeah, I know, maybe 10%, 15%, 20%. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm on that upper third. We all hear about the upper third. Sometimes I find the hot sign, find the great stuff in the upper third. Sometimes middle of the ridge. It all depends on that diversity. That's typically what I see is that diversity of habitat, diversity of terrain. That's where I typically a lot of times will find the really, really great spots. Sometimes high, sometimes low, sometimes in the middle. It all varies. That's why the boots on the ground are so important to find those spots.
Absolutely. I love hearing that from you because it's not like you're not pushing anything, you know, directly. It's just honestly where the deer are. I am where the deer are.
Yeah, and be honest with you, I mean, we overthink this. This is just me personally. I've been blessed to kill a lot of deer. I'm not real smart. I'm going to tell you, you know, I'm a big freaking meathead here. I'm not real bright, and I've been able to kill some good whitetails, kill a lot, and I think we overthink it sometimes. You know what I mean? This isn't algebra here. You know, yes, you got to be a good woodsman. You got to understand how to read the sign. Wind is very critical along your thermals. A big mistake guys make is the entry and exit routes. Also, that's a big thing, especially in the big woods. That's where your access can be really troublesome, and playing the wind in the mountains. But a lot of this, I think we overthink it a little bit. Sometimes we just need to go hunt. Use some common sense, but don't overthink it. Just get in there and hunt and kill them.
Interesting.
Absolutely. Do you see, you know, just based off the years of you doing this, but when you're sitting in a stand over a scrape or near a scrape, how do you see the bucks moving in relation to the scrape? You know, are they coming in directly downwind? Are they cutting it? You know, are they perpendicular? How are they? What do you see the most? Because I know there's going to be pretty much everything going on.
Yeah, you hear a lot of guys downwind edge working downwind scrape. I mean, I've seen that. me personally, I've seen a lot of them. If they're there for that scrape, they're coming to the scrape.
Right.
To be honest with you, yes, they will use the wind and thermals. It's kind of like personality people. I've seen some bucks will J hook in and use the wind and thermals. Other ones, they're aggressive. They come right in and they just don't give a shit, and I've killed them both ways. I've been busted, bucks J hooking in and catching my wind. And I have other ones, they just don't care and they come right in and hit the scrape. I've seen it all, to be honest with you. Right. I don't always like, there's the scrapes. If I'm hunting scrapes, specifically end October, yes, I need to shoot to that scrape, pretty much. Unless there's a heavy terrain feature leading to it that I'm pretty confident. During the rut, sometimes I'll work off of those scrapes. I'm more focused on the travel pattern terrain. But the scrape itself, you kind of got to get in there and just kind of visualize how he's going to work the terrain, how he's going to work the cover to come into that scrape. And you can kind of set your state, manipulate that spot with your setup. We're all kind of mobile right now. That's the big thing. You can go into a spot like that, depending on the wind and thermals of that day, you can set up in a certain tree and play, that to your advantage. And you go back in here 3 days from that, to go back in there, maybe the wind and thermals a little different. Just manipulate the spot with your setup. That's all.
Absolutely. Yeah, the wind and thermals, especially hunting the big, big woods, is such a big thing. I mean, I know, Eddie, we've played with, what the hell's that shit that
it's milkweed.
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 You drop the milkweed on your head, like by your head, and it goes, let's just say south, and then you drop it by your feet, and it goes north.
Yeah, that's what's hard about the big woods mountains is getting a consistent wind. I mean, I do a lot of all-day sits. I drop a lot of milkweed, and I'll do the wind map and stuff to a point. But sometimes my style hunt, I am very aggressive in a rut. I like to hunt areas. There's, multiple things coming together. And how I look at it, if I got 6 things coming to one point, coming to that kill tree, I'm going to lose something here and there. But I still have a lot in my advantage. I have a lot to an advantage in that certain location that still, I have pretty high odds he's going to come down one of them other spots that he's not going to bust me. Do I get busted? Absolutely, like everybody else. Like I said, sometimes you just got to be aggressive, go in and hunt. I think the aggressive mindset in a lot of situations, you got to use some common sense, but that aggressive mindset is going to kill you a lot more deer. You're going to screw up a lot and you're going to learn a lot. But once you start doing that enough, you're going to learn and you're going to start consistently killing deer quite a bit.
I love that mindset, man. I love that. Just get out there, get in the tree. It'll happen.
Yeah, and I think that's a problem sometimes. We kind of pussyfoot around about it. We overthink it. And I'll be honest with you, I'm guilty of it now. It cost me last year. It was a pretty hot, warm rut we knew last year. Rut sucked last year. It was so damn hot. And I had a real great hub system, and I had a camera in there. And it was October 27th. We got a little cold front, and it lit up. I knew I should have been in there, but we had a lot of east-southeast winds last year. And I was kind of banking on a different wind direction. It ended up costing me because once I went in there postseason and really broke the area down, we like I said, we hunt mobiles. A lot of these spots we can go in, just got to manipulate the spot. You think you need a west wind. Well, okay, that west wind's going to put me in a wheelhouse. That's going to put me in the kill tree on a west wind for a spot. Well, say, you turn around, you get a south or a southeast, throws you a curveball. Well, you start thinking about it. Okay, I was in a wheelhouse in that kill tree on that west wind. Well, if I end up setting that up, manipulating that spot, you know what? I don't have the spot, but I'm still 70% in the game. And that's going to kill whitetail. Yeah. And I think that sometimes we overthink it a little bit in them situations.
Yeah, it's almost like we try to make it too perfect on a wild animal.
Yes. Yeah, and like I said, there's so many variables. We've all been doing this long enough. Every time we think we know what we're doing and the whitetail's going to do us, they do complete opposite.
Oh, absolutely.
Not all enough, man. It's still breaking my heart every time.
It's like the more I think, the worse decisions I make.
Yeah, and that's what happened to me last year. That rut. I throw my eggs in one basket for the rut. I love the rut. I'm an all-day grinder. I will just hunt and hunt and hunt. Man, you get that warm weather. Man, does that suck ass. Sitting in a tree. It is 1 o'clock, 75 degrees, just sweating your nutsack off, and it's like, oh my God, why am I doing this? Then you start playing the mental game. Should I sit here? Should I stay here? Or do I go over here? Or do I go? Then before you know it, especially in the big woods mountains, you can start chasing your tail a little too much. Ag country, farm country, I've moved around a good bit and I'm still pretty successful. When I get in a big wood situation, when them bucks are putting on some miles sometimes, I get myself in trouble if I'm moving too much. And that's kind of what I did last year, chasing my tail because of the warm weather.
The warm weather makes you feel like you can move more, man. And in the cold, you're like, fuck that, I ain't moving.
yeah, like, I'm staying here. Yeah. Yep.
But, yeah, man.
That's fun. Okay, so that since you said that, how long will you hunt a scrape or let's just say a smaller area that might have multiple scrapes? How long will you hunt a particular scrape and or area before you decide I got to get out of here, I got to move?
Well, if it's at mid-October through end October, even maybe a little bit in the first part of November, where the scrapes are really hot, you got to watch that. I'll hunt a couple of days in a row if the conditions are right. I might not be, I guess you said, as aggressive I am during a rut when there's a lot more movement. I'm trying to really kind of fine tune that setup on the scrape. If I'm hunting the scrape itself, you really got to pay attention to the wind and thermals because you're hunting that specific location, that one spot you're concentrating on. So you got to watch it. Everything's got to line up for me to hunt that multiple days in a row. I will, of course, if things line up. Now, when you get more towards the rut where I'm looking for the travel pattern, I'm catching that buck going either he's chasing does, he's searching for does between bedding areas. If I'm in a good, say, hub system or something, there's a lot of things coming together, I'll hunt the week straight, if things line up. If I'm not going to totally burn it out, I have a solid entrance exit route. Wind and thermals are pretty solid most of the time. I'll hunt as long as I need. If I have confidence, I have multiple shooters in that location. If it takes me a week, it takes me a week. I'm confident sitting in that tree day 1 or day 7, he's going to come by me. One of them bucks are coming by me. That's my mindset. That's just how I am.
Oh man, I could never. My brain doesn't let me stay in the same place for very long. I got to keep bouncing around it. It puts me in a situation where you were talking about.
Yeah, and that like I said, this is my style, and I tell guys sometimes it's not for everybody. Mm-hmm. It's worked for me. I've got to meet some fantastic whitetail hunters, and some guys, they hunt the morning, break down, scout midday, go hang in the afternoon, repeat that process every day during a rut. They consistently kill. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's more than one way to do this. Just find something that you have confidence in, and then keep at it.
Absolutely.
So let me go back here to Maryland real quick before I forget.
Yes,
so you're going to go in September. It's going to be hot. What are you doing in the middle of the day? Are you scouting or are you just taking a break? What is it that you, because, they say don't, especially in September, like early, the deer don't move too much when it's really hot. They're usually just bedding and not moving. Do you try to find them while they're bedding or you just, hanging out until afternoon?
I'm scouting. What I'll do is like, say, even the first day I get down there, I really didn't have a game plan. Like at, say, the first Saturday opener, I'll wait till daybreak and I'll start walking. Okay. What I'm doing is I'm planning for my evening hunt. I'm just going to start walking. I find a hot food source. I find hot sign. That's where I'm going to hunt the evening. If I have a game plan, have some things together where I can get a morning hunt in, I will, of course, hunt a morning hunt. But if I'm unsuccessful in the morning, I'm going to break down mid-morning, and then I'm just going to put boots on the ground. I'm going to find something hot where I feel I can kill something.
Okay. That's interesting because we have a trip going, too, in September, but we do in Delaware, and it's more or less the same thing, and these guys have hunted it for a couple years already. I haven't. So I'm trying to gather all the information I can so I can, kill the bucks and they don't.
I think we're
I don't think
go ahead, buddy.
Like September and October, especially September, October, you start getting a rut. That's where I said I think you need to put tree time in a good location or two. Mm-hmm. When the rut kicks in, that's where I said I may have how my head works is once it flips to get Halloween in November, I may have a handful of spots that I know there's some good bucks in. That's probably I'm going to hunt for the next 2 or 3 weeks, those handful of spots. You know what I mean? I'm not going to bounce around, go find hot sign. I know these bucks are in these core areas. I'm just going to settle down. Now, September, October, that's where a lot of in-season scouting is going to come into play, where it's boots on the ground, morning, midday, leading up to the afternoon. I'm scouting, and I'm not hunting until I find what I'm looking for.
All right, and what do you do about sweating and smelling and you've been walking the whole day and it's hot? What do you do do you put scent killer, or you're just playing the wind by that time because there's nothing you can
go
do?
play the wind thermals and stink, because I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care. We do not have technology as human beings to beat a whitetail's nose. We do not have it.
Okay.
I don't care. I'm sorry. I've been doing this long enough. I've tried it all. I think you can.
I believe in that too.
You can do some of this. Yeah, you can. I do have some tricks that I do. I used to do it all ozone. I've done the ozone last couple of years. I've kind of got away with it. I don't like the smell of it. It still smells. Scent-free sprays, they're kind of worthless. I think you can give yourself some cover scent. I like to take, what I do is I go out in September or August, area I'm hunting. I'll go out like the pipelines and stuff, and I'll cut weeds, like all the golden rods and stuff like that, some twigs, some maples, some oak limbs, and I'll throw them in the tote with my clothes, and my clothes will smell like the woods. That's all I do with that. Does it work? I think what it does is they're going to smell you. They can, like they said, they don't smell the cake. They smell every ingredient in the cake. That's what they can do. You know what I mean? So, but it may give you that 2 or 3 second opportunity to kill him. That's kind of how I look at it. He's going to bust you, but it may just hang him up enough at 33 yards we put an arrow in him. That's how I'm looking at it.
All right. That's some good tips here.
I'm running out of paper here. Do you keep any like data logs or anything like that, or are you just all in the dome?
I suck. I tried. Like, I tell people, I said, man, I was just on a podcast there last week, and I laughed. I said, I flunked 9th grade English, so I'm not real freaking bright. But whenever it comes to whitetails, I can remember a lot of shit for some dumb reason. But when it comes to logging SD cards and cameras, man, I suck. Every year I'm going to tell myself I'm going to keep track of stuff. What I really, really enjoy about cell cameras, this is a big benefit to me personally, because I'm not really organized with my photos, is I get a big buck on camera, whatever, Halloween, you can download that damn picture, right then and there, save it. And I have it. So I can go back and look, after the seasons and look at multiple cameras, say November 3rd, I had 3 different shooters on daylight and on different cameras in different areas. So why was that? You know what I mean? I can start to correlate with the weather then, and start figuring like, okay, we had a cold front moving in or something happened, a front moving in. And I kind of remember that stuff. And you remember that in the future when them same, scenarios pop up to hunt.
Yeah, I'm terrible like that too.
I don't keep anything down too. I actually started erasing photos from the year before. I'm like, I don't care about this fucking deer anymore.
That's what I wipe out everything.
I'll start new again this year. I don't want.
Mine are all dead. Mine don't typically make, like, I get a good buck, 3-4-year-old deer in PA. It is rare he makes it next year. Once the rifles and the drives during gun season, it's game over for him. It's really, really, it's hard to get him past 3. It is really hard to get him past 4 in a lot of areas.
Yeah.
Do you see a lot of rifle pressure out there?
It's horrible.
Really?
It's horrible. I had up the first week, but I had 2 really great bucks that made to the first Saturday. Now I was like, these son of bitches are going to make it. And then it was like a 30-man drive come through and just blew the whole areas up. And I never saw none of them bucks ever again. So I'm assuming they got killed.
Do you hunt with rifle too, or just archery?
Yep. I mean, bow hunting is my love. But I have absolutely zero problem killing one with a 7mm or a muzzleloader. I have no problem killing one with a rifle. None. Nope.
Man, this was like my first year actually out there, and after bow season for so long, I remember coming into rifle season and just going down the block. I called Dan. I was like, Dan, there's like 30 cars in the lot, man. I was like, what is this, man? They're all gonna go. It breaks my heart.
Yeah, people don't realize Pennsylvania, especially in the southern part of Pennsylvania, kind of go across the southern part. Gun season in PA in the southern part of PA is
crazy.
Bad.
Like, I'm in like a weird.
The state can be split in 2. The northern half PA gets pressure, but that's typically where the majority of your bigger bucks are going to be, because they just don't have the gun pressure the deer drives like we do down south, the southern part of the state. You have Pittsburgh, Harrisburg, Philadelphia, all in the bottom half of the state, and come gun season, man, it's tough with the deer drives. It's really hard to save them bucks.
Yeah.
Really hard.
I'm in like a weird pocket of Jersey where there's nobody out there during archery season. There's like 1 or 2 stands out there. And then once that gun hit, I was like, "What? Where are these people coming from? God damn!" I was heartbroken.
It's crazy.
What I hate about Jersey,
it's crazy.
is like they're second. They have a 6-day firearm, so I think like guys just get like psychotic in their head. Like I only have 6 days, and they're just out there just pushing deer all day, every day. There's just dudes everywhere. It's a disaster.
Yeah, that's a tough state down there, right? Yeah, I don't know if you ever see me down Jersey at all hunting. Sounds like a tough state down there. Yeah.
I'm surprised Litzinger's still down there screwing around.
I tell you what, I know Greg personally, and I know what he deals with down there. I know what I deal with, and it's even worse for him. That's why I have a ton of respect for him, the whitetails he does kill, because he is arguably in one of the toughest places in the country to kill a whitetail consistently.
When you got dudes cutting trees down to steal your tree cam or trail cams,
it's bad. Yeah.
I've had some good conversations with him. I want to get him on the show actually and talk about Jersey because, like you said, especially where he's at it's tough,
rough. That's
it's
pressure
tough.
there. Yep.
And these guys are browning down. I don't know if he's in an unlimited doe zone, but there's a lot of spots in Jersey that are in unlimited does. You could shoot, I don't know what it is, $5-6 bucks.
You can bait
in that state.
Yeah, you can bait. It just complicates everything. I mean, thank God here in PA we can't bait. That's a big thing here. We can't bait, so that helps a lot.
I don't know what that was. I hope nothing stops working.
There goes our webcam. Can you see us still, guys?
No, they can't see us.
You're blind, but we hear you good.
All right,
cool. We can see you
we
guys.
Hear you.
Cool.
That's a Chinese battery in a Sony camera that lasts 15 minutes, apparently. I had something I want to ask you. That last week of October, or even the last 2 weeks of October, when them bucks are really starting to get fired up and hitting them scrapes, are you gonna do any like calling to like simulate some like scruffles around some scrapes? Or are you just silent in and out kind of deal?
Yeah, I'm kind of this is just me personally. If I'm in the Midwest, I'm pretty aggressive in my calling. This is just me personally. I'm not aggressive in PA. Kind of like just the silent assassin, man. I just want to get in there and get out of there. I will carry a grunt call with me. There is times I'll use it. I will occasionally blind call in certain situations. But me personally, pretty much utilizing my setup in general to kill him. There's guys in PA that rattle, grunt, bleat. And I've killed deer like that, but I'm just not real successful. I think sometimes, especially in these really pressured areas I hunt, a 3-4-year-old deer, he's heard that so many times. Yeah. So me personally, I just kind of stay away from calling. It's just me personally. There are situations I will, but for the most part, I don't call.
Huh. Okay. Now, what is your setup as far as you get out of the truck and you're walking in the woods? What do you got with you?
I'm low with custom gear, man. I run a 0.5. Usually October, I run a 0.5 with 3 doubles with 8ers. Once I get to rut, I run the 7.5 with the same setup and the same sticks, 3 doubles with 8ers. My bow, my pack, I try to keep it. I self-film now, of course, Whitetail Addiction. So that throws a whole different thing into it, trying to do the filming thing. But I try to keep as light as I can, keep it as simple as I can. I don't take a lot of gear, a lot of unnecessary gear with me. The rut, the most important thing's food. I gotta eat. That's what guys like. How the hell do you sit in a stand, dark to dark for weeks on end, and be honest, it's freaking food, man. I'm pretty strict with my diet. But come season, there might be a couple ho-hos in there and stuff. You know what I mean? Because you sit 12 damn hours in a tree, man. You gotta. How I do it is like, say, I leave here, have good breakfast. I tell myself 9 o'clock I get to eat this. 12 o'clock I get to eat this. At 2 o'clock snack before. I kind of break my day down like that, and it keeps me somewhat sane sitting all day. Something to look forward to every couple hours.
Yeah,
I gotta see. I can only picture. I'm trying to picture you in a 0.5, and it's just not. My brain's not allowing that to happen.
Everybody says that. Yeah, everybody says. I'm a fairly sized dude, and the 0.5 is not bad for. I actually hunted that I did some all day sits and rut in that thing. down the high when I first got it, 2 years ago. It's manageable. They have the higher seat posts now. So that makes it a lot different. Now
Okay.
the 0.75 is just me. Yes, I'm a part of Lone Wolf guys. That is the best stand, period. Hands down. That 0.75 is the best of all worlds. But the 0.5 for an October hunt, because in October I have my vinyl harness on. I have the mobile waist pack underneath the seat. My sticks are on there. That's all I'm taking. It's lightweight, it's efficient. I'm in and out. I'm not carrying hardly anything.
And I like that. I like that.
That's crazy. I can't picture him either in there.
Now that he said he had, like, he's running it, it's making me think, because I have a 1.0 and I love it, and I'm thinking about
the 1.0 is nice, but I'm telling you that 7.5, man, with that higher seat post. Oh, man, I'm telling you that stand there. I sat all day multiple times just last year, and man, I absolutely love that 0.75. Like I said, 0.5 is nice, but that 7.5, man, that is the money stand in my opinion for everything. You want one stand, do it all. That's the stand.
That's the one. Interesting, because in my brain, I was gonna get the 0.5 or a stand of that similar size, and use it as a saddle setup and being able to sit down, because I can hunt the saddle, but after a while my hips start to hurt, my ass starts to hurt. I gotta sit down.
I did the saddle game before I went with Lone Wolf and got down that back into the hanging the sets and stuff. I did the saddle for a couple of years. It has its advantages. This is just me personally. I hunted for a long time. I've done this hang and hunt mobile stuff since I was a kid. I've been doing this a long time. It's not new for me, but that's just my style. That's what I prefer. I actually, it's just me. I think I can get in more trees with my mobile setup now, with a hung stand, pre-hung, or a mobile set, than I can in the saddle. That's just me personally. I seemed like I was struggling to get in the setup of the saddle, and an all day sit in the saddle. I'm a bigger guy. Maybe that's why I do have some lower back problems, but man, it would absolutely crush me sitting in that saddle after a couple of days. Just killed me. I like to stand majority of the time, but I got to sit down a little bit and take that pressure off your hips and your legs when you're sitting all day.
Absolutely. The biggest thing that annoyed the shit out of me, because I've mobile hunted for a majority of my career too, not nearly as long as you have. You've been hunting. Yeah. You've been mobile hunting as long as I've been alive. Not to make you sound old or anything. Which I would have never guessed your age at all. I was shocked when you said that. I hope I can look half as good and get around half as good as you at that age. But it's funny because like mobile, with the hang on mobile set, and you get comfortable, right? You get into a system, and then you throw in the saddle, and it's like everything's ass backwards, and it just threw me off.
Yeah, that could be why too. You get used to hunting one way. You try this, and I think some guys, maybe they haven't hunted long enough to really get into a habit of certain things. Mm-hmm. So maybe the saddle is a little easier for them. And some guys are just, they don't have a problem sitting like that for a long period of time. And some guys don't hunt all day either. Majority of people don't hunt all day. I will tell you that is a very small percentage of guys that will just hunt day in, day in, day out. A lot of guys don't do that. I'm one of the few. I know that. But if you're doing the whole in for a couple hours, come out, back in for a couple hours, it's not going to be a problem for a lot of people hunting either, right. A preset, a mobile set, or a saddle. You can play around with anything then.
Yeah, absolutely. You're 100% correct. I mean, it's a very small percentage. It takes a lot of discipline to sit all day.
Yeah, that was just, growing up in PA. Like I said, I started hunting when I was 14. That's been a long time ago. Well before antler restrictions. Like I said, that was back, you saw a spike, man. That was a accomplishment. Guys talking, you killed a little buck, So that's, and back in, you had to hunt all day a lot of situations. I started gun hunting. That's kind of how my dad brought me up. We're there, we hunt all day. And then when I started bow hunting, I'm 16, I didn't really get in the rut hunting more till I was probably closer to 19, 20. Killed my first buck with a bow when I was 19. Started to understand the rut, started seeing some things. Then I started, while I got my 20s, I started doing those all day sits a little bit. But, just being around this area in general, high pressure, I have to do a lot of volume hunting. You'll hear guys that'll go in and, kill 2-3 bucks in 6-7 sits. That's great if you're in the right area. If you're in an area that has poor quality, of bucks, and you're trying to kill a certain specific kind of caliber, you may have to volume hunt. You may have to hunt 12 days, 18 days, and
Yeah.
till you get an opportunity. You're only as good as the area you hunt, guys.
Yeah.
Like I said, we talked before. This ain't rocket science killing whitetails. A lot of this comes down is how good is the area you hunt.
Yeah.
Really, to be honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, up to you to find that in that, late season after season scouting, summer scouting,
Yeah,
whatever you
yep,
have time to do.
yep.
So I got a
Yeah,
question
exactly,
for the long sitting part of this show, an all day sitting. What do you do to entertain yourself on an all day? Do you just watching the whole time? Do you go on your phone? You bring a book? Because my problem is the ADHD that I got going on. After hour 4, I'm like, either I do something
like I said,
or
yeah. Like I said, food is the big key. Keep me kind of like I kind of keep those times in my head. But yeah, I got my cell phone, of course, and I don't always have service, especially in the mountains.
yeah.
And I've been bit in the ass of that messing around on the phone.
Yeah.
I missed a 160 incher. I missed a 160 incher in PA.
Oh man.
Holy shit.
I've been pretty fortunate, and I killed what I see when I have an opportunity. And I was dicking around on Facebook. It was kind of when the whole Facebook, started up and shit like that. And I was actually hunting a private farm. I didn't know about this buck, and I looked up and I was like, "Holy shit!" And I was dicking around my phone, throwing the phone in the bag, everything else, got flustered, and I put one right over his back at like 35 yards.
Oh shit.
And I'm still sick over that one. Yeah. How I know it was 160 because they ran to the neighbor or the farmer's kid. It ran to him and he killed it. And so we measured it. So he was 160.
Holy
So it hurt.
shit.
It hurt real bad. Yeah. That was, I lost sleep for a few nights over that one. Let's say that. That one hurt.
I'm
Real
surprised
bad.
you didn't get rid of. I'm surprised you didn't get rid of your phone after that.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
kind of learned to try to pay attention the most you can because it can happen anytime.
Hey man, you seem to put a lot of miles on. Do you do any specific training for your deer season? Like, do you ruck? Do you do anything to get yourself, or is it just hiking and being out there that you're physically able to?
I mean, of course, I lift a lot of weight. Training is a big thing for me. It's always had. It's a big part of my life, physical fitness. But when it comes to the actual hunting part of it, the weight training's not, it helps. But to me, it's the boots on the ground, hiking a lot helps. But me in the last couple of years, the rucking is probably, in my opinion, the number one thing to get in shape for what we do when it comes to hunting in general. I'm telling you, rucking, what I love about rucking, you get the benefits of that cardiovascular, open them lungs up. But that's one of the few things you can do like that and actually build muscle strength and put some size on, because you're putting a 40, 50-pound pack on your back. Your body's trying to compensate to that. So you got to put muscle on. That's why you're pushing weights, you're putting muscle on. So that's what I love about rucking is you get kind of both benefits out of there. What I tell guys, don't go crazy. You get like putting a 100-pound pack on. I run about 25, 30 pounds in my pack. What I'm trying to do is I know what my mobile setup is. I want to go over that mobile setup, like 10 pounds, 15 pounds or whatever. So when I put my mobile setup on, it don't feel like nothing. That's how I do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a 40-pound vest that I wear rucking about 2 to 3 miles a day, just to get out there and put some miles on with it. And it's great. It feels great.
Think that's the best.
Great. And then,
that's probably the best workout. Yep.
When I take the dog out without it, I can take him for miles. I just feel light as can be out
exactly. Yep, exactly.
That's awesome. Good.
We got to get you in some mountains, Kevin, with that 40-pound pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
There's no mountains in New Jersey.
Hey, man, I find them. I'm doing a lot of hills over here. Whatever they are, they're hurting.
Yeah, you put 40 pounds on it, it don't matter what you're doing, it sucks.
And I'm also doing what I'm hunting, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Moose, let me ask you about the backcountry, or the big woods here in PA, because we over here we used to do it a lot more, but one of the things that you mentioned was getting like early the entrance and to get to your stands in the morning. Are you a big guy on like going like 2 hours before the sunrise comes out, or how do you? Because we had some spots where there was a lot of deer, but we couldn't figure out a way to get in there without either spooking them, or we have to be there like 2-3 hours before the sun comes out. And we didn't want to stop
Yep.
hunting that spot because of that. But you can do it because you fuck up the hunt pretty rapidly if you spook them before you get where you want to go.
Yeah. Kind of whether it comes to that, the access, like how early I'm going to get there. Typically me, now this is conversations based off the rut. This is how I do it during the rut.
Okay.
I'm going to be in there all day. Sleep's kind of a premium when I'm starting to grind, to be honest with you. I'm not getting up, have to get up earlier than I need to be sitting in a stand for 2 damn hours before daybreak.
Yeah.
I'm just not doing it. I'll be honest with you, I'm not doing it. I'd rather get an extra hour of sleep, hour and a half of sleep. That's going to mean more to me. You're going to blow deer out. Your entrance and exit is extremely important. I like to utilize a lot of creek system, ditches, and stuff like that, kind of J-hook into certain spots using wind and thermals. You're going to bust deer. There's no way around it. You're going to. So you still got, that's where you still, like in the rut, you got to be aggressive a little bit. You can't pussyfoot around. You need to go into these spots. Do you want to walk right through the middle of a feeding area or a bedding area? Absolutely not. That's where you might have to circle out a little bit and utilize a ditch or a draw or something to access a spot. Like I said, situational, of course, but I'm basically getting a spot. I'm getting settled in. My camera gear's up. I'm ready to rock. I got, before it starts to crack daylight, 20 minutes, a half hour easy. Half hour, 45 minutes where I can maybe put an arrow in something. That's pretty average for me. Sometimes, maybe I'm a newer area. I know it's going to take me a little bit. Maybe I get set up a little earlier. I'm like, I'm in here. It's 45 minutes an hour before I can shoot something. If I'm coming back here tomorrow, I might sleep an extra 15 minutes or half hour, because I know what it takes to get in there now. But I'm not a guy that's going to be in there 2 hours before daybreak. I'm just not going to do it. To me, like I said, when I'm starting to grind, rest is really, really important to me.
Yeah. And do you pay attention again to sweat when you're doing the entrance or smelling, or you don't? It's the same thing you mentioned before. Because when I did it early, I was like taking my time and then resting 10 minutes, and then waiting, and then so I didn't have to sweat because it's an uphill the whole way where we used to hunt.
Yeah, when you're getting into typically end of October and November, typically it's going to have colder weather. Last thing you want to do, I wear a lot of merino wool as a base layer, which really helps keep you warm and wick that moisture. But you don't want to go gung ho, blazing through the timber, especially climbing up hills and mountains, sweating your ass off. You got merino wool and some stuff on it's going to help prevent the moisture on your skin. But you don't want to be in that stand and half hour, after shooting, like you've been in a stand for an hour or whatever it is. And it's 28 degrees, 32 degrees of frost in the morning. And once that wind starts picking up, you're going to freeze your ass off, So I will try to, be honest with you, I'll wear my bottom, my base layer, my pants. I usually typically do run a little light. The cold doesn't really bother me too much. But a lot of times I just got a t-shirt on or a t-shirt, maybe like a base layer long sleeve shirt. I will go in cold. I like to be cold going in. By the time I get to where I need to be, I will take a break if I start to heat up. But I will, by the time I get the tree dressed like that, I'm just starting to get work up a sweat. I will stop at the bottom of the stand maybe for 5 minutes because I got to hang my preset or hang my mobile set. I will just take 5 minutes, cool down a little bit, get that chill coming on you, and then I'll put my mobile set up.
All right.
Get in tree, then I'll cool off again, and then put my outer layer on once I cool down a little bit.
That's good. I usually, as soon as I get to the tree stand, I'm like, let me get up there as fast as I can, and then when I'm on the stand, I'm sweating.
Yeah, everybody's in a big hurry. Like I see a lot of this. It doesn't matter what you're hunting. This whole thing, this mobile hunting phenomenon or whatever hell we're on right now, which is fantastic. Mobile hunting's great. Kills a lot of whitetails, but everything's about how fast can I get up a tree? Who gives a shit? How fast you get up a tree?
I like
do you want to kill a whitetail or is this a race to get up a tree? And what drives me nuts is I see this shit. Guys, we're trying to go so super light. Light's important. But if you can't carry 20 pounds on your back, you're probably in the wrong game. It gets to a certain point. Safety is a problem with some of this stuff. You've seen it. Some of these manufacturers that are really pushing limits. It's not good. You know what I mean? Somebody's going to get killed. And what drives me nuts is everybody's trying to race up a tree. And, how does it take you up a tree? 5 minutes. I don't give a shit if it takes me 25 minutes. I am going to give myself enough time to get up that tree, get situated, and where I'm going to cool down. And I got, like I said, a 15-minute, half-hour window before I can shoot something. Let the woods calm down. But I'd rather be quiet and be efficient climbing that tree than trying to rush up it. It only takes one ting of metal. And in a cold morning, a frosty morning when there's no noise, you're in the mountains in the big woods, and he can hear you a quarter mile away.
Yeah.
I can guarantee he's not running over there that morning.
Absolutely. And then you got these guys that are like Cirque du Soleil up there with these, one sticks, and they're trying to get 30 foot in the air, and they're all these ropes.
Yeah, it drives me nuts. I mean, everybody hunts the way they're comfortable with. Just you see where that's. I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to sit here because I'm part of Loon with Custom Gear. But big reason I went with him before I become part of the group was the quality. And there's other companies out there, fantastic quality saddle. I can name a few of them. Latitude and who else? I've tried a couple other guys that are new to the game here. They're fantastic quality. You know what I mean? A tree stands or saddle, and that's important. You're seeing guys cutting corners now. And I fell out of a tree, man, 20 some feet. I fractured my back in 2 places, and it's no fun. I was hanging, hunting an old tree stand, cable snapped, and I was on the ground. It's no fun. And you see it every year, people get paralyzed and killed and stuff like that. And sometimes I think this whole fast, lightweight shit thing, sometimes it get a little out of hand personally.
God damn. Yeah, that's one thing I don't want to do is fall out of a tree.
Me neither.
Yeah, it's not fun.
That's why I hang my tree stands 5 foot. No, I'm playing.
I know a couple of guys that don't get high at all.
Yeah.
5, 6 foot, one stick.
Heights. Yeah. And it, like I said, this goes, you hear the new thing now is low hunting low. And that I'll hunt 5 feet off the ground, one stick I'll hunt. Or if I need 3 sticks and I get up 20 feet, I'll get up 20 feet. Where's the cover? What's the situation dictate? That's what it is. It's not about height. Take that out of the game. Just don't even think about height. Get to that spot. Okay, I need to be in that spot right there in this tree, in this double tree, and that Y at 14 feet. Or the way it's set up here, I can basically be on the ground. I can basically just put the stand up and walk up on the stand. I'm 3 feet off the ground. It just depends on the situation. Don't worry about height in general. That's how I figure.
I totally agree. The height of the stand is 1,000% situational.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you were talking about food, and a big part of our show here is wild game cooking. Let's hear what's your favorite, what's your go-to wild game meal?
Wild game meal. Well, I will say this, and this has nothing to do with my damn nickname. I had the opportunity to try. I had the opportunity to try moose one time. Damn it, moose was good. Let me tell you, man. I'm telling you, man. That is by far the best wild game I've ever eaten, man. I think it was at one of them wild game feast or something.
Yeah.
And I tried elk, caribou, whitetail, antelope, and all alligator, you name it, wild turkey, pheasant. Man, I tried that moose, and I have never, ever have tried something better. And I actually had moose again here at Bo's Mountain Buck Camp. I was up there. Gentleman up here. What you call it? Hungry Huntsman.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Awesome.
He had made something. Yeah, he had made something. And I'm telling you, that by far moose is my favorite for sure.
No shit.
It also, I mean, it's got to depend on who cooks it, right? On how it's prepared.
Yeah.
Do you know how it was prepared when you had it?
I'm trying to think. I don't know if that was we had so many different meals up there that were fantastic. Yeah. That might have been the one. I think he did like a soft taco or something, if I remember. I'm kind of drawing a blank a little bit, but if you guys ever have, you guys know who he is, Hungry Huntsman.
Yeah, we've had him on.
And I'm telling you what, I've never eaten food like that in my entire life. We were up at Mountain Buck Camp in April. He is one hell of a freaking cook, let me tell you. I mean, everything he made, man, phenomenal. It was amazing. That weekend, I don't think I've ever ate that damn good in my entire life.
We got to tell him that you're talking good things about him.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm telling you. But he has his that the shake stuff, the seasoning.
Yeah, we got
the Ricochet blend.
The Ricochet blend.
I don't. Yeah, the Ricochet. My wife, I got her hooked on it. It just came in the mail. I think we ordered 4 of them.
That's awesome.
My wife's super healthy eater, and so am I. And like I said, the gym thing's a big part of our lifestyle, fitness. And I got her hooked on it. Chicken, eggs, whatever, that is on it, man. I'm telling you, Go find them. Go buy the shit.
Yeah.
I highly recommend
Yeah,
it.
We,
It's delicious.
we put it on
Yeah.
everything. We even put it on
We
some
actually-
cheese
Yep.
skirts. that
Oh,
we bought.
everything that goes
We
on
did a
there.
live tasting with that
Yep.
stuff, man. That stuff was outstanding.
Oh, it's awesome, man. It's awesome.
Yeah. So what's your go-to meal in a tree stand then?
Don't say
I don't know if it's
moose.
really a
Don't say
go-to meal.
Don't say
Yeah,
moose.
yeah, moose.
Moose jerky.
Yeah, moose jerky. It's pretty basic. Like when it comes lunchtime, I usually do like a bagel with, like salami and cheese and something on it. A couple of those pull string cheese sticks.
Oh, yeah.
I always have like caffeine's a big thing. I gotta have caffeine. There's usually a fiber
yeah.
energy and something else. I gotta have a lot of caffeine. Tylenol and ibuprofen are always with me that time of year too, because this all day sit sucks. But I will splurge in the fall. Like I said, there's probably little Debbie cakes or something in there. I won't eat a lot of it. Yeah, I won't eat a lot of it because I don't want that sugar crash. But once or twice a day, we're gonna splurge a little bit. And we're gonna have something good.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's
Yeah.
that's awesome.
That-
I usually grab like gummy bears or something that I can munch every like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It's like
Yep.
like a tick,
Yep.
like a nervous tick. Like okay, let me just start munching on
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Hey, do you have
Yep.
a
Yep.
like a traditional meal, like every kill, like that first meal of the deer?
Yeah, a lot of times I do, especially a buck. Doe not necessarily, but a buck. Typically what I do is we will butcher our own deer, me and my dad.
Yeah.
But a lot of times when I kill a buck, I got to get a cape, stuff like that. I will sometimes take to the butcher. It's just easier for him to go in, cape it and stuff. Then I'll take it to finish process of taxidermist. But a lot of times, like I take it to butcher, he's got it done within 2-3 days. Before I freeze it, man, I just start eating steaks. It's not for me to polish 3-4 steaks off. Nothing. Fresh steaks. Just fire up the grill or the skillet, butter, onions, garlic, salt, pepper, and just
Simple.
fry them bad boys up. Where they're still moving a little bit. You know what I mean? And I'll put a hurting on a couple of them, man. Let me tell you.
You ever have? Do you eat the heart?
You know what? I've never ever tried that. But I need to. As much as I read about it, and they said it's supposed to be really good.
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me eating it. I just never tried it. When I got a deer, I got them real quick, and then I never think about taking that stuff.
My first deer that we killed, I went back to with Dan and we butchered it up and we ate the heart that night, and it was that was the first deer I ever killed. I mean, it was beaten hours ago. I mean, and then to be cooking it up, and, oh man, what if it's
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
It tastes pretty good on that day. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
That was a
that's
fun
why I'm
day.
hoping I get on Maryland. Yeah, I get on Maryland for, like I said, I want to kind of do that backpacking stuff, and I've got to look in their regulations stuff, so nobody yell at me and mess with me. I don't know what Maryland's regulations are, though, but I've got to look into how the whole, skin them back air, quartering them, packing them out stuff, or if I got to drag them, I got to take care of all that regulations-wise. But if I can, I plan on if I kill one, back camp at night, we're gonna cook up some, cook up some steaks or cook something up right there at the fire, fresh kill,
Nice.
Oh man, that's probably gonna be the best tasting deer meat you've ever had.
Oh, damn right. That's why I said, just because he's a little forky, he's still going to taste pretty damn good.
You should put a little bit of Gunner seasoning in a Ziploc bag and put it in your pack so you're ready.
100% it's coming. Yeah, definitely. That's definitely coming along. Just in case. Yeah.
That's awesome.
For sure, man. For sure.
Do you do any other
Yep.
kind of hunting other than deer?
Bear.
You know what? Anymore. I mean, I will get out turkey hunting anymore. Turkey's turned into, you kind of kill one turkey, you've killed 100. I love hunting them. But now my boy's getting at age. I like taking him out, trying to get him one. He killed his first gobbler this year, my oldest boy. It's kind of this year was kind of revolved around him. I do like to turkey hunt. And there's a bear behind me here. I've been to Canada a few times hunting them. I really don't hunt them in PA. I do get a bear tag in PA because there's so many freaking bear in PA. If one comes by, I'm going to stick one. But to be honest, man, it's whitetails. I really don't care to hunt anything else except I do want to go up for moose. Not my nickname, just a simple fact. I think that is my bucket list. That is my bucket list animal to kill is a big bull moose. I do want to do it before I get too old here. I want to go on a moose hunt. I'll probably take a rifle, to be honest with you. I want to kill one. I'm not going to be picky, and that's my bucket list goal in hunting in general is to kill a moose and to kill a gross moon and Crockett buck. Those are my two number one things I want to do, and I'd like to cross one of them off killing a moose.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Moose, like a float trip would be insane for a moose.
Yeah, my wife already said I everything's down here in my game room. She says if I kill a moose, I'm allowed to put it upstairs in the big room. So,
Ooh.
so I'm holding her to that. So,
Nice.
yep.
That's awesome, man. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. We talked an hour and 10 minutes about scrapes. I'm sure we could probably go another hour, really. Antonio, you have anything?
No. I had some questions about, especially when you said Maryland. Super interesting because
I knew you were taking notes over there.
Because we're gonna do something similar to that. We are camping,
Yep.
but we're not backcountry camping. Yeah. You answer a couple questions.
Just go have fun, man.
Yeah, I like.
Yeah, just go have fun. That's the end of the day. I think, like I said, we get too tied up in social media bullshit. I think we need to, all of us, even guys who are consistent killing big bucks, sometimes take a step back and because there's a lot of people watching us, a lot of young people, a lot of new people watching us. So sometimes it doesn't hurt to take a step back and let them know it's okay to shoot a younger buck or a small doe or whatever. That's okay. It's about the hunt and the adventure.
Yeah, no, it's the story, man. If you start doing stuff like that, like, you know, killing mature bucks, and it gets so frustrating that you don't like hunting no more, then you just shot yourself in the foot. Like, what's the point? Like,
exactly.
That's why we talked about
have fun, man.
With the other, I forgot who we said about this. That we go hunting, and then after a while of hunting deer, I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go hunt waterfowl because I need to, just decompress, or I need to just hunt a pheasant or something.
Yeah,
so because I want to enjoy
I love
this.
shooting doe, man. Yep, I love shooting doe. I love shooting doe. For whatever reason, rifle season, a lot of times I'll save my doe tags for rifle.
Yeah.
Man, I love shooting doe in rifle season. It is too much damn fun.
Yeah.
And that's my kind of decompress after a tough season. I'm usually pretty fortunate I kill, a pretty good buck in bow season. So come rifle season, man, I'm out with my dad. I take my boy out. It's fun. Kill a couple doe, fill a couple doe tags. Man, you can sit there all day hunt. It's snowing a little bit. Here comes a group of doe. Man, that's up here for killing a big buck, in my opinion. This is just how I am. That's how I'm geared.
Yeah, well, especially with your dad and your kid, this is a different ball game there. It's awesome.
It's all about the memories. When we're done doing this, we're sitting on our deathbeds. I don't think we're going to think about the biggest buck we killed.
Yeah.
We're going to think about the memories with our buddies, our parents, or whoever we got to hunt with. That's what it's going to be about.
I agree with
you.
I
love that. Yeah, I love that.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
100%.
Eddie, you got any?
No, I'm good, man.
You've been quiet, just taking it in.
Yep.
Are you going anywhere else other than Maryland, PA, Iowa?
That's it. If the good Lord blesses me, maybe if I would kill one in Maryland, I would go back down there for that second tag. Maybe at some point, rifle or muzzle or something. Maryland's probably pretty much just going to be September. A little bit here in PA. My whole season's pretty much banking on Iowa. That's a tough tag draw. There's some money involved in that. Of course, I am leasing some private property. So most of my season is going to be with Iowa. If I'm blessed to kill one in Iowa, come back to PA. If I punch this PA tag, I may jump to Ohio. That might be the wild card is Ohio. Maybe not bow hunt, but maybe gun season in Ohio, possibly.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Hopefully you have a good season, man. I'll be watching along for sure on the stories.
Yeah, it's hunting though, boys and girls. So you just never know. We have good ones, we have bad ones. So we'll see how it plays out.
Absolutely. Hopefully it's just not 85 degrees that first week of November this year.
Yeah, if I get cold weather when I like to hunt, I feel pretty damn good. When it's hot, it gets tough. It gets tough.
It does. I was just going through trail camera photos the other day, and I shot a couple of does in the first week of November, which everybody hates, but I could care less at the time. And it was 76 degrees on my cell cam.
Oh,
yeah,
ridiculous.
There were some days, man, I was in a t-shirt all day. It was horrible.
Yeah, that's crazy. Kev, you got anything you want to add?
Nah, man, I just love the conversation, man. Good talk. Thanks for coming on, Ryan.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
I learned a lot today.
Anytime.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate that.
Before we
Cool.
shut it down, you want to just give everybody kind of where they can find you on the socials?
The whole Facebook thing, I don't really do too much. But you want to follow my stories. I'm pretty consistent with posting my hunting, my scouting, all that stuff on Instagram. Moose 1720. that's where you can find me.
Cool.
Hell yeah, man. And I highly advise people to do that, or suggest people to do that, because you'll learn a lot just from the stories, just from the bullshit. It's almost like you kind of zone out and just kind of talk as if you're talking to somebody. It's pretty cool how you run that. All right, with that being said, you guys know what to do. Satisfy that craving and be wild.